I believe in gaming, we are in the era of fast food. So as I don't even know if I can call myself a gamer anymore, really, to what I feel a gamer is. I have been a gamer in my past. I continue to play games now and enjoy them when I have 5 minutes to spare. But when we're looking at this, what are we looking at when we're talking about games and gamers? And what does this like equate up to?
Right.
So roughly, sorry with the statistics and numbers off the top, but
they're the best.
The best. I love
the best.
Excel spreadsheets, yes. By revenue, okay, there is the gaming industry is about $165 billion.
This is gaming or video games?
This is video games.
Ooh, what's a
165 billion
worldwide?
I believe so.
Jeez.
I believe so.
That's bigger than entire country's budgets.
Oh, it's way bigger than the GDP of a lot of countries. Console games make up about 33 billion. Okay.
Yep.
PC games make up about 40 billion.
Yep.
And the juggernaut
Master
of our
race.
time that I'm really going to focus on as we talk about this is why I'm talking about it now, is mobile gaming. That's more than both of the previous two, which is up at around 85 billion.
It's so crazy. Candy
As of
Crush
like
for the
2022,
win.
right? So assume that it's a little bit higher. So with all that said, there's approximately...
Raid Shadow Legends? Not sponsored, but
Not-
call us.
We'll take your Raid Shadow Legend money. So funny. You're ruining TTRPGs, but call us. There are approximately worldwide 3.2 billion people who are considered gamers.
That's like the entire country of China.
Well, funny, like 1.6 of that is China. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Wow.
They are a huge market. Okay, so 3.2 billion video gamers.
That makes a lot of sense now.
Approximately, and it's really hard to tell because we're all closet dwellers and like basement people and hide in the shadows. There's 50 million with an M D&D players. So 3.2 billion video gamers, 50 million D&D players, and of those 50, just as a fun statistic, approximately 3 million are DMs.
3 million. Like 3 of them were DMs.
3. We're real busy. No,
Him, me sometimes, and you.
And you. Call us.
Yeah.
We should get together.
One of us.
So yeah, that's crazy. There's about 3 out of the 50. And these are approximate numbers because it's really hard to tell who plays D&D actively, passively, how many characters. Some DMs are players. Most players are not DMs.
They just play Baldur's Gate.
And interestingly enough, which will come up later, about 40% are under 24 years old.
Of the gamers.
Of the 50 million. No, of the TTRPG players and DD players. Okay. So 40% are under 24 years old, which is actually kind of good for an age pyramid.
It really is.
So with those numbers out there, so you kind of have a reference of the size of the communities and who is big bro and who is little bro. Starting off on the negative, because why not? I really feel like there is a huge amount of overconsumption of what, I'm going to relate this to food, are like the pre-packaged meals.
Oh, right? Twinkies.
Your Hungry Mans, your Twinkies, your, Snacky Pops, whatever you want to call it.
Snacky Pops.
There is a mass production, especially in that mobile market, which is the biggest market, of just games that have quick satisfaction, whether it's a numbers go up game, like your regular farming sim games,
like a gotcha type thing, make your team better.
Yeah, like all of these, they're really quick satisfaction. Something you play on the bus, something you play on the toilet. We know you do it. It's okay.
You'll be watching us there too. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, they're collecting my data. They're great. They're fine. They fill a purpose, obviously, because there's a lot of money there. But what they are is a lacking of depth and really kind of creativity. It's a reskin or another idea based on something else. And it's so rare to find something new or interesting, right? It has this huge amount of reliance on external sources for that instant gratification. There's nothing that you have to do to make Angry Birds more interesting.
Right.
Yeah. right? Like it does it all. You aim a little bit, okay, but the game essentially does itself.
Well, even these games where like you have a character running around doing stuff, doing quests and like fighting, you can put like auto mode and it goes and it fights for you, runs
idle
to the
RPG
quest. And, like,
it's idle RPG with waifu. Idle RPG.
It's basically Diablo with it runs by itself idly.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. And this is out there times 100, right? If you want it cartoon, you want it grimdark, you want it robot, you want it whatever. Yep. There is a game out there that satisfies this, that requires you to do nothing to progress, right? And what this does is this is diminishing the need for active mental engagement. And that's pretty much the number one thing you need for D&D.
Yeah, right? It really is.
Just
it really is.
Choosing to be at the table with everyone else is kind of step number one, whether that's online or in person, right? And so when comparing the gaming community to the TTRPG community, sorry if we're getting, we're shit rolls downhill or whatever here, but yeah, it is really a lot of meaningless kind of cartoon, attention grabbing, small portion, what was it? Fight Club, like single serving kind of stuff. Yep. I don't need a long-term relationship with this.
Oh, single serving friends.
Single serving friends, yes. Right? I don't need a long-term relationship, so I won't.
Yep.
I don't crave that, so I'm not going to get it. And if my attention continues to drift towards those things, when I'm not on the bus, when I'm sitting down and maybe at the dinner table, I'm like, oh, phone comes out and I'm off playing a game again. I'm not engaging with the people around me. There is like a stagnation. I feel that that's going to create, much like some people feel going to the gym. I don't go to the gym, so people will make fun of me because, I don't feel like I look like I'm supposed to be at the gym. So I better not go to the gym. And instead I'll just continue to do the same activities and behaviors that prevent me from doing that. I think that can happen with our creativity and with what we're trying to build and bring to the table. With all the stuff that we talk about.
Right. Yeah.
It's very hard to necessarily exercise those muscles and exercise that kind of an idea while you are feeding yourself just this like program that's designed to capture your attention.
Well, it's like if you're getting used to eating bags of chips forever and ever, like for a long time, you forget what it's like to actually go to a cookout.
Yeah.
Right. And have foods prepared and like barbecuing and like paying attention to the food and flipping it so you have the right sear. Yeah. Right. Sitting down, chatting with your, with your friends and family. And
Now, exactly right on point with that. This type of mobile game is generally going to have, and even don't kid yourself, PC gamers, console gamers, the games that are coming out now generally have that lack of depth as well. It's why when you get a game like Baldur's Gate 3 dropping and everybody goes crazy, it's because, oh, wow, they actually put a story in here that matters and it's cool and it reflects your choices. And there's cool things that you can do and experience and find. And yes, they put a spoon on that table for a reason because somebody wants their pudding and they need a spoon. It's out there and it stands out very quickly, much like your favorite meal stands out in your mind.
Yeah, it's so rare and it shouldn't be.
Correct. Yeah. With all the money that's put into these things, they're so shallow or they're so gameplay action and oriented that you're not getting that cognitive diversity in your diet. Okay. Now, I'm a huge proponent of video games over books. I will say that.
Me too.
Just as like the active input, output, right? What you're doing, you're involved, you're active and whatnot.
Yeah.
But you got to be playing the right things. Right. Especially when we're considering video games versus TTRPGs and pen and paper games.
I mean, as a storytelling medium, yes, video games over books.
Yeah. Now, an additional thing is there's a lot of cultural and educational restrictions that are limiting kind of our imaginative exploration because the games have to sell. Oh, and so you're not going to go and necessarily find something that's niche or interesting or kind of well curated if it doesn't make a ton of money.
Well, they stay safe with whatever's worked.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's generally your bigger studios, not your indie studios. But still, the idea is we need to make a product that people will consume and will buy. Because ultimately, our number one goal isn't creativity, isn't interaction, isn't impact. It's profit.
It's cash money.
Got to get that cheddar. So lastly, in this kind of metaphor, you've got prepackaged fast food that's just the same thing in a different container, right? You've got a lack of diversity, a lack of nutrition coming in, lack of that nutrients and that exposure to all of these different sorts of cultural and educational topics. And you combine that now with that, you said before, that sedentary lifestyle, that lack of going out and looking for.
I guess I did.
You did, right? Eating your bag of chips on the couch.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The stagnation of limiting yourself to whatever it is that is easily to find, right?
Oh, in your mind?
In your mind. Yeah. And it's, hey, while you're playing this game, here's an ad for another game that you might like. Here's an ad for another game you might. Here's an ad for another game you might like. Those ads are making them money. They're also shoving another product down your throat. And it just continues and snowballs and snowballs. So this is never going to find you getting out of that loop. It's always going to try and direct you to spend more time, more energy, more eyes, more money on what it's pushing in front of you, right? And all of this is to say that most of the gamers out there don't actually have to make any decisions, which is the other big thing in D&D and TTRPGs, right? Yes. You have to be mentally engaged to be there, and you have to want to actually make an impactful decision, right? You didn't pass Candy Crush level 942. Okay, try again. But this time, would you like a discount on some of the power-ups? Right? Like it's there, and it's a system designed to just drag you into it like a black hole, right? And some people fall into it. Some people don't.
I mean, you do have to make choices in those types of games, but it's like a multiple choice on a test as opposed to like a written long form answer on a test.
Right. And so it's that depth.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it's a puzzle, okay, great. If it's aiming, okay, great. But these are not moral questions. These are not things that challenge us necessarily.
Right.
Maybe strategically, okay, forward thinking, critical thinking. Yes, you might have some arguments there. But creative thinking?
Yeah, not so much.
Not so much. And so we lose the challenge in embracing those particular dynamic mental skills that are used essentially from session start to session end.
Right.
In D&D and TTRPGs in general. And I apologize for kind of coming out of the gate super negative with this.
So hot.
But I think it's true. I think it's real. I think we all suffer from doom scrolling. I think we all suffer from a little bit too much screen time. I think we all suffer from all of these things. But but I think that's why they're designed that way.
Yep.
Right? And I'll talk about that a little bit more.